A very good afternoon. Hi, Mr. Sambprasad.
Good afternoon, Sita.
So, welcome to our Fireside chat series. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes, of course. The pleasure is all mine. So, to our viewers, I would want to introduce Mr. Sambprasad ji as a first-generation entrepreneur. He started Prismatic Solutions in the year 2012 after a strong exposure to IT, the IT technologies, and a stint with manufacturing where he saw there is a gap. With that, he brought in his passion for innovation in code and test automation in AI ML, which has been truly satisfying. This has been evidenced by the fact that this year they've been awarded by the NASSCOM, by the best MSME, the best growing MSME by the Economic Times. It's a true proof of the way they have grown. They have grown 2x in the revenue, almost a similar number in employees at a stage when, grooming them is something definitely a fortunate event. With this, they've also birthed low-code tools, low-code, no-code tools, which has helped their companies, their client companies, project management cost go by 25 to 30% by making very deliverables very predictable. So I think it's an immensely commendable, set of achievements. And we would like to hear from him today about how CIOs, how organizations can leverage on the next phase of getting into digital transformation mode. So, with this introduction, Sambprasad ji, I welcome you for a very hearty talk today.
Thank you very much, Sita. Thanks for that introduction.
So, I would like to start with few of our questions which go towards very first that will define the rest of the mode of our interview is that what is it that you have here to offer to your clients? What are your top offerings to your clients?
Right. So I would like to start with domain capabilities. We work in 4 domains: BFSI, energy, manufacturing, and healthcare. These are the domains where we have been working in building web and mobile applications. That is our core business. Okay. And with that we have developed our internal tools, which are the code generation tool Codity, and now we are working on the test automation tool. So that is going to really make us different from the other service offers in the market. Okay. And for our customers, that is going to really be helpful. And technology-wise, we have been working on specific technologies for a larger amount of time, like Java, J2E, AngularJS. These are our core capabilities, and recently we've started working in the areas of Python and .NET as well. And along with that, mobile development, we have been working in native mobile development plus the hybrid frameworks like Flutter. We also have worked with Xamarin and the likes of Ionic. So these are some of the technology areas where we work in. We also provide technology consulting in the areas of cloud, re-engineering or performance engineering. We have some very good stories where we helped our customers in improving the performances of their legacy applications, which due to some reasons they can't upgrade it, but still they have to handle larger market, and for that they need improvements in the performances. So we have catered to that as well. So overall, last 11 years, this has been our journey. Going forward, our focus is on automation, where we are coming up with our tools, which will be our internal tools, and we want to reduce that any new development or the enhancements which customers are doing. Right. We want to reduce that time for them using our tools.
Wonderful. So I'll go back, last in, first out. The last point that you mentioned about, reduce their time. Yeah. So is this learning coming from the fact that our customers ask for low price product, or they're not, where is that intention? Because sometimes it's recommended that you do bespoke because every customer's need is different. So where does this motivation come that you should create tools by which, their time to, what is your motivation there?
Yeah. So see, typically, as I said in the start, that we have been working in the 4 specific domains. So when you work in specific domains, there is always an overlap of around 70 to 75% of the things what you are doing. Obviously, every project by definition is a new project, but you have always some overlap. So we, during our journey, we realized that we have to create reusable components and really adopt the lean philosophy and come up with our tools, and that will really help the customers to complete the projects in a faster way. And when you do that, and you are in the business of product engineering or product outsourcing, that really helps the customer to go to the market faster and then see the corrections also. Again, that correction is going to happen fast if we are partnering them. So all that, I think, helps the customer to establish in the market. That is for the startups or the new customers. And for the existing customers who are having a large IT canvas using all enterprise tools like big ERPs and all, for them also, again, with the use of automation tools, their enhancement can happen faster. And that can give them, time to focus on some other core things.
Very true. I was thinking of that when you said that. That's a true leverage, because often when you give them something to start with, then they realize their true potential as to where can they customize to get the market, reap the market more.
Yes.
So you are there at a position of a consultant where you can help them to think beyond, because what will they do with the product if they're not fast enough?
Absolutely.
Can't think for innovation. So
there is one more point which I would like to highlight here, that nowadays there are many companies who are having their own IT teams. The large businesses are having their IT teams. So sometimes their IT teams, if they're a product company, they have to focus on their core product development. And if it is a IT company for their business, they also have to focus on the regular business what they are doing. So typically, they don't have much time for any new things to be done. And for that, they are dependent on, vendors, contractors, external parties. So these kind of tools, become very handy. And that is where I think we see that there is a good potential of providing this kind of approach to businesses.
Wonderful. No, that's a very good leverage that you give them, because of which they can jump into market soon. You mentioned about your expertise in 4 industries. Often, what I see when I interact with the CIOs and IT heads is that they want to have mobility. They want to have the new age technologies. They also know they want to develop few apps, but often they fall short of other leakage areas. So since you have a lot of expertise and across these strictly 4 industries, I will use this forum to ideate. I would want you to elaborate on certain use cases where companies have seen the benefits by developing mobility. So if I could go one by one of the industries, and if you give 2-3 examples, it will be a great bite for our viewers,
Sure.
Yes. So you said the first in priority, I think your industry is the BFSI that you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Followed by utility. So what are the use cases you saw in the last year that CIOs and IT heads were going towards?
So we have been working with a bank, in Singapore through our partners, where we helped them building a mobile app, which actually was for a cashback. They wanted to give cashback to their customers, and that was like a B2C app. App which is already which they wanted to publish in the stores, different stores, and they want their customers to use that. So we helped them building that right from scratch. There was a customer in Germany where we built the finance related app, which was a B2B kind of an app, which was used for invoicing and or small activities which are related to billing and accounting for a German small company. So these are 2 important things which we have done in the area of financial services last 2 years.
Okay. And the other 3 industries you mentioned was utility being the second one.
So energy is something which we are working with one of the largest energy companies in the world right now. We are working with their US unit, which is specifically for digital services, which they have started. And their technology team leadership team is in the US, and their domain team is in India. and we have been working their development partners now this is the third year. So there we are, working on different product ideas which they are coming up with, and some of the things I cannot disclose here because there is an NDA. But yeah,
Right.
we have been working in the areas of IoT while working with them, and that is again a very good exposure for my team also, and it has been really a challenging work. Last 2 years we have been really working hard with them.
And the other two industries, what are the few use cases? Or you can also mention areas where companies are not foraying, maybe the ideas for them to think now.
So, yeah, some of the things which we have done, like, retail industry, some reporting tools, again, so we have a very good UI capability where things have started, can you design this particular piece for us? And then we provided some good ideas, and then customer liked those, and then it became a longer project where we actually started developing their entire reporting engine. They used it for again, that was a product company. They used it for their retail tool. It was one of the module in their product. So that was for retail. In healthcare also, we worked in the personal health segment, which is a segment which is coming up, where again a mobile app which was developed for a startup, where my team was helping them. So that was one of the healthcare example. We helped a US based pharma company, a product company who had a product of revenue analytics in US pharma, where we helped them, again, that started from the performance, analysis engagement, where they were facing issues in the performance, and they built the application in, early 2000, which was like slightly old in technology, but they were not, they couldn't afford to change the technology stack, but still they wanted to handle larger volumes now. And we helped them in performance, and then we became their partners in their development team, as a natural progression.
Yes.
So that was a healthcare story. In manufacturing also, as I said, IoT becomes important aspect of it. So we have been, again, working with a India-based ERP product company, where we were working on their development activities as development partners and providing them consulting over some of the designing and re-architecting initiatives.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful. So you're working on legacy, on the modern applications. I think you make a whole circle of digital transformation, consulting. And that's what people need today. So among all the core offerings that you mentioned, you mostly have covered. Do you think there will be one of these areas will have the maximum resonance in the next 1 year? Today, I can't ask for 3 years, 4 years. So I'm asking you, in the next 1 year, do you see anything that has maximum resonance? And in that area, have you started modifying or evolving something so that it is even more relevant to the buying segment or the user segment?
Right. So, there are two. So I would like to answer this in a different way. So IoT is definitely being the area which we are focusing on, and we are seeing more traction coming in that zone, where right from hardware, then the adapter layer to the cloud layer, and then coming to the dashboard, which is getting displayed to CXOs. Considering the efficiency and the effectiveness which is needed in the coming time, because we are heading towards a tough time where effectiveness for all CXOs is very important. Our IoT solutions with the analytics is going to be really required, and that's why we are focusing on that. So that is one area definitely which we will be focusing on. At the same time, as I said, Industry 4.0 is something which is a very next level for some of the companies. Some of the companies are not even digitized, So if you come across that case while you are actually exploring your customer needs, you can get them to the first level at least, very fast. And then when I'm saying very fast, you can, we can leverage our tools, which can build that story first, and they can at least start capturing the data manually. And then they can be taken to Industry 4.0 using sensors, and then data can be captured automatically.
So you have imbibed these, then considering that you met such customers, you started quickly imbibing the layer 1.
There are some projects which we have already kicked in.
I understand. No, that's where you have to go to the next level. Wonderful. So that's the modification you call. While you wanted to sell something higher, you have to back and modify and give them first the set. Yes.
And one more modification I would say, when we were again interacting with our existing customers and doing a part of their developments, what we realize is in the test area. So when we are helping the startups in their development, we realize that startups wanted to go to the market very fast, and they are good at completing that 1.0 and going to the market. But when the product continues, then and the 2.0 is about to come. In the meantime, they are not really aware of how to maintain this in terms of quality. So then there is a search of automation developer and stuff like that. It takes its own sweet time, and then the test case is written, and by the time your 2.0 is already ahead of all that. So how to address this? And that's why we are coming up with our automation testing tool, which can write your test cases when your manual tester is actually drafting it. At the same time, we are going to write the automation script. We are providing the interface.
Which will parallelly from the manual testing guy, he will...
at the same time, the script will be generated. So that is an AI which we are using behind. And that is a huge value addition for the likes of startups, what I said, who are coming up with their testing tool, and that can also be used in the enterprise or existing applications also for enterprise customers.
So if the manual test case is already written, you can start script automation testing can be done.
Yes, perfect.
Wonderful. So you've already implemented, because the next question is towards that. How have you used the automation, analytics, and AI, the 3 A's of development today? And if you could resum it in this fashion, when you mentioned.
We had a customer, who wanted to again complete their product in a very, very less time. They wanted to go to market and really go live.
Right.
And it was a very complex use case where there are some algorithms which the core team was supposed to work on that. And we were not we were their consulting partners. We were not actually developing the thing. And these are 2 founders, IIT IIM founders. They said that most of their time is actually getting into building those complex algorithms and all that. And they need someone to quickly build some of the no-brainer things. And there, we use Codity, which is a code generation tool, and build them an admin application very fast. So that was like they completely did not look after that, and that was ready by the time their core development got completed. So this really helped them completing and going to the market in their stipulated time without adding any more teams or any more developers or anything, because otherwise their time would have been compromised by looking into other things. So that was one story of Codity. The second story was we helped the ERP customer with the help of Codity, and that again allowed them to buy some time for their customer to work on some of the enhancements.
Yes, Sambprasad ji. So what about the third A?
Right. So AI, we have delivered some stories recently, and so there are 2 things. We are using AI in our internal applications. As I said, we build code using our tool. We are writing automated test cases using AI. Plus, we are doing some projects also, customized AI projects, where we are building products for our customers. We have worked in the construction industry where the first of its kind AI bot is something which we have developed, and that is like patent pending thing right now. It has been applied for a patent. So the AI journey in voice to text, text to voice, then document generation, those areas we have been doing a lot of work recently. And yes, so we are anyways adopting to that. Analytics is part of, we are not doing specific analytics projects kind of, but analytics is being part of our projects.
Inherently, because that's what we talked about.
Yeah, inherently, almost every project which they are coming. On analytics, actually, we are doing one thing. We are partnering with one of the leading graph companies, which is California-based company.
Tiger Graph, I think,
Tiger Graph, yes. So we are partnering them, and we are working with them on some of the initiatives where Tiger Graph is a very powerful graph technology, which is the analytics is the core of it, and it becomes very fast on Tiger Graph. So through Tiger Graph, we are also, trying to embrace on analytics and working in that area.
Wonderful. Because that's one question I'll ask you later. What do you recommend to the CIOs and all of that? So very interesting. There was one thought when you were developing these products. Inherently, they come out right with ideas, something which can use, and then your product in automation, your product in testing. Does it never don't you get lured to the fact that, oh, can I build a product out of it? Can I become a product company? That never comes to you. How do you manage that instinct?
Right. So our focus has been, services, right from day one. In fact, it'll be very honest to say that I'm a product person, and I worked in product and services both. By heart, I'm a product person, and I tried using some product ideas initially. But then I realized immediately, after 1 or 2 months that, I'm not ready for product, and product is a big game. So let's focus on services and do that first to a good level, and then we will shift to product. And with that background, I think I was very clear in my mind that, I'll be working on services. But then, that product development, I would say, some internal thread, which always is there, and then you create something internally, which is like a tool which you can use. So that gives, so my organizational structure right now is, we are having, my dream is to have at least 10% of my overall count should be in the R&D. Right now we are having 5%, if not 10%. But yeah, eventually it will happen. And they will, be focusing on new things which are coming up. Coming up with reusable components, defining the standards for my projects or development teams. So 10% of my team will be in the products, 70% in the 70 to 75% in the projects, and remaining 15% is shared services, HR and marketing and all. So that is the org structure. Right now we are having, at least 5% people who are non-billable, who are actually working on those ideas and building that dedicatedly. So I took this decision. It's a tough decision in the times which we are in, but eventually that gives you a benefit over the period, and that really helps you moving with some differentiators in the services market.
Very true, because people do expect a certain maturity. People are expecting innovation. You yourself have moved towards speed. And I think, yes, you're not billing them, but if you have to do that in order to provide a matured, customer service. So you're in the very right direction. People who don't do will fail ultimately, I feel. It's going to be tough. I mean, there's so much competition. Are there less of IT companies to offer services? The answer is no. There is no dearth of them. You mentioned about consulting at some stage, how do you package consulting? Because yes, companies are even lost there. They don't know where to start from and how will it look like. So yeah, how do you package consulting today?
So there are, 2 to 3 areas. One immediate thing, what we thought through and we are working towards it very strategically, is the testing area. Where we realize that some of our customers, where we are helping them to build products. But then over the period, once that product gets completed and we sometimes hand over the work to client teams and all, we realize that there is a good scope of providing the testing and the maintenance kind of services to those customers. So there we've come up with our testing tool idea, and we are doing that. Now there our pitch is, okay, you may use this tool, as a complementary tool, which will improve your testing. Because this is not a product, this is a tool which you use, but then, we will provide you that consulting, as a complete package. So that's how we start proposing, our testing services. Then second thing is we have a very good UI UX capability, which was developed. Again, I realize, in the application development area or product development area, UI UX is something which becomes, a key thing. Now, we have seen the IT industry has grown, if you can say, like, from 90s, people have built products 35 years back. And that time, the technology was very old. The interfaces were very, named UIs and all that. Their second generation, now, they need, the latest UI, UI themes and all that. Because their current customers want all these vibrant UI, interfaces. There, it becomes a huge task to completely migrate those old interfaces into new interfaces. Again, our automation helps there, because if you have to start from scratch, it is, it becomes a year-long project or more than that. And that you cannot afford, because these enterprises are not really, very, very big customers. They are still, they have grown from small to medium size, over the years. So suddenly they cannot afford to spend that much money and completely, migrate it. At the same time, they cannot afford the time for that also. But they can't afford to really leave from that as well, because if they don't do it, competition will kill them. Tomorrow, someone else will come up and, build that very fast and all. So there our offerings are like, we have these tools, automation tools, plus the UI design capability, wherein we will, go with that as a package, and we'll offer them. So these are some of the ideas of
consulting areas where you need to offer them to them.
Correct. And since I mentioned about the R&D, we continuously working on that. There, what we do is, one of the areas which this team is doing is, they are doing the comparisons of the frameworks which are coming in. So just for example, AngularJS, React.js, which one is better? What are the, differentiating factors, which suits where and all. So those things are continuously on. Again, the specific focus to the domain helps here, because you have similar design patterns. I mean, there are 4 to 5 or, hardly few design patterns which are used in this industries, the kind of applications you build. Now, if you know that already, there might be very less variations which are there. So again, you can set up some kind of benchmarks and do some automation in that design area as well. So, all these things come, then you select a proper, because many of the times customers are, very much confused in what technology to be chosen and all. What should be the technology stack, which technology should be used. There, all these background work helps, and we go with that package saying that, okay, these are the areas where you should be seeing the advantage of using this particular design pattern or this particular technology stack. And that made us very strong in terms of becoming a development partner in the next journey for that particular customer, because we have this groundwork already done there. Some of the stories which are already there, and that experience helps.
Definitely. A consulting first approach is definitely sought by all customers. You almost answered most of the things, but here, if I still turn the tables and I make you think like a CIO, and the CIO is in his journey of developing the mobility solutions for his year or for her year. If you had to just mention 3 areas where 3 virtues or 3 criteria based on which he should plan or she should plan her next year or the next 3 years applications, or a vendor, choose an application or a vendor. But what are the, three pivots where they should focus on choosing the next solutions?
So first is innovation, where we have to really see, because the time is really testing time ahead. We are going to probably next 2 years are going to, everyone is talking about it. So it is very important that we have to innovate. And through that innovation, the overall operations should be really optimized. Because the budgets, CIOs may not have, extended budgets this year or maybe next year. Even if you are not able to save, I would say that as a vendor, you should always try to see if you can give some percentage of, savings to the CIOs, to their IT spendings. And some of the peculiar examples, I would say, if you have ERPs like, SAPs and all, where if you want to build some enhancements on top of it, the traditional cost is very high of that. But if you could use certain tools like this, which will give you a faster solution, and then you can connect that with the existing ERPs. I think that is one idea. There are more such ideas which the CIO should seek from the vendor.
Right. So innovation along with cost benefits, take cost benefits or versus benefits.
Innovation is one thing, and then automation, because automation has to be there now. My idea of that is very simple. If something is from the IT perspective, if something is mundane or no-brainer, that has to be done by the machine. And that's where, we are using computers. So the AI also should actually focus on this rather than completely replacing the developers. It should help the developers and not replace it. Now, what will happen because of that? All the no-brainer work which will be done by machine, and if I'm a developer, I will focus on the complex core part of the product or services, whatever I'm building. Okay. And there, naturally you will leverage your curiosity, and that will encourage the curiosity also. Whether being a CIO, if it is your internal team or your external vendor, you should, balance it out this way. That whenever you are using automation, ensure that it is helping or leveraging the existing team. So that is the second thing. And I believe that, trust is something which we are following as a very core value, being a vendor, which is very important in testing time. Again, you should really be trustworthy, be very open to your customers, saying that, okay, even if you disagree with their own choices, you should be very honest by telling the impact of that and providing that, what if analysis in the right manner. So I think these three things are very important if being a CIO, if you want to choose a vendor or implement it internally.
No, I think we had a very good pointed discussion about a lot of things which actually will help them develop maturity, have innovation, moving to the next generation, which you covered in many ways. And everything weaves into each other, and trust being the most important thing. Because if there is no trust, there is no long-term growth. And what are we here for, So at that note, I think I have a very last personal question to you, which is about you being a first generation entrepreneur. How easy does it come? What are the leverages of it? What are the advantages of it? And, what do you think comes on a plate, and what does make you think next level?
Yeah, that is a very good question. So it has been a roller coaster journey last 10, 11 years, and it's a tough call at the time when you are at peak of your career and you have to, leave your hefty salary job and start something which you are dreaming for and all that. So initial time is obviously you are so much involved in that idea. You are in love with that idea and you start it very passionately. But being a first generation, the initial period goes in actually convincing, a lot of other external factors around you, to your family members, to your, well-wishers and all that whatever decision you have taken is correct. So all that you have to really think through and do it. But of course, you get always the support if you are passionate enough, because that kind of positive energy, if you always spread and have your patience, then things work in the right direction. And then you just have to stay put, throughout. That having said that, I think when you pass that initial period of 3-4 years and you try to establish yourself, always there are growth challenges. Every stage from micro, small, medium to enterprise journey is a different orbit, and the challenges are different. So it teaches you every day. There is a different experience. So that makes I think one of the best thing which has happened because of that is the personal development. And I always say that this is a cost of freedom. Being entrepreneur is a cost of freedom, and then after investing so much energy, time, and everything, then you get some satisfactions after certain years, where you see your first customer doing very well,
Yes.
which is using your services, and the kind of services which you provided help that. So then slowly you start realizing that, and then that gives a great amount of satisfaction. Of course, you create jobs during that period, which is another satisfactory thing, and you try to contribute in the GDP of the country. So that keeps you moving. And this year we were very happy to receive those 2 awards, which was started probably, I think NASSCOM started it 3 years back.
Right.
ET started it first time, and for the MSMEs, and to get that, for the first time, I think that was a really satisfying moment. So such events gives you energy for next few years, and just keep you moving.
No, definitely. You have it all. The awards, the appreciation, the wonderful employees that you have. I think 2 amazing product supports, enhancers. I think your journey is going to be fabulous, and I wish you all the best. We look forward
Thank you.
to having
Thank
you
you
again. Yes.
Thank you, Sita. Thanks for this. This was a wonderful talk, and I enjoyed this. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed it very much too. Thank you.